You are not bad with money. You are up against billion-dollar research departments whose only job is to make sure you spend more than you planned to. Every price you see, every countdown timer, every "only 3 left" notification, none of it is accidental. It was tested, measured, and refined specifically to override the part of your brain that was about to say no. These are the techniques. Once you know them, you cannot unsee them. The charm price. It's basically $9, 1880s to present. Almost every price tag ends in .99 or .95. The popular explanation is that retailers originally used odd endings to force cashiers to open the till and record the transaction. That may explain the origin. It does not explain why the technique still works in an era of contactless payment and digital receipts. The real mechanism is cognitive. Your brain reads prices left to right and gives disproportionate weight to the first digit. $9.99 is processed emotionally as $9 and something before the full amount registers. That gap, small as it sounds, consistently shifts purchasing behavior in measurable ways. Researchers at the University of Chicago and MIT confirmed this in a direct pricing test. Identical items were offered at $34, $39, and $44. The $39 version outsold both the cheaper and the more expensive option. The charm price did not just compete with a lower price, it beat it. Every major retailer, e-commerce platform, and fast food chain uses it today. Knowing about it does not make you immune. The processing happens before conscious reasoning catches up. Fix. Round every price up immediately. $9.99 is $10. $24.95 is $25. The trick stops working the moment the first digit loses its advantage. The decoy effect, the option that was never meant to be chosen, 2000s to present. MIT behavioral economist Dan Ariely documented this using a real subscription offer from The Economist: digital only for $59, print only for $125, and print plus digital also for $125. The middle option was rationally absurd, the same price as the combined package, but with less. Ariely tested the offer with 100 MIT students. With all 3 options visible, 84 chose the expensive combined package. He then removed the middle option and tested a separate group with only 2 choices. The number choosing the premium package dropped from 84 to 32. One redundant option had been responsible for the majority of premium purchases. This is the decoy effect. The middle option was not a pricing mistake. It was placed there to be evaluated and rejected, because that process makes the expensive option feel like the rational conclusion you reached yourself. You find it in movie theater snack sizes, cable packages, software pricing tiers, and gym memberships. The option that looks like a mistake was never a mistake. Fix. Ignore the middle option entirely. The IKEA effect. Your effort feels like value. 2011 to present. In 2011, researchers from Harvard, Yale, and Duke published a study on what they called the IKEA effect. Participants who assembled products themselves were willing to pay 63% more for those items than participants who received identical products pre-built, even when the self-assembled versions were put together badly. Effort creates ownership, and ownership inflates perceived value in a way that has nothing to do with quality. The labor itself becomes entangled with the worth of the object. This principle extends well beyond furniture. Meal kit services make you do part of the preparation so the meal feels more yours than a delivered dish would. Loyalty programs make you accumulate points across months so the reward feels earned. Apps make you build profiles, streaks, saved lists, and personal histories so the product begins to feel like a reflection of your time before you have fully decided whether it is worth keeping. The more you invest, the harder it becomes to abandon what you have built. Companies design onboarding specifically to maximize your early investment. Anchoring. The first number controls everything, 1970s to present. In experiments by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in the 1970s, participants were shown a randomly generated number, completely irrelevant to the question being asked, before making an estimate. Consistently, people who saw a high number gave higher estimates. People who saw a low number gave lower ones. The point was simple. The first number you see sticks in your mind and pulls every judgment that follows toward it. Retailers exploit this directly. Was $200 now $80 works even when the item was rarely or never sold at $200. The crossed-out price is not information. It is a frame. The $80 is not being judged as a standalone price. It is being judged as a rescue from something far worse. Physical stores use the same mechanism spatially. Luxury items near the entrance are not necessarily best sellers. They are anchors. Once you have seen a $2,000 handbag, the $300 wallet beside it starts to feel moderate by comparison. The US FTC has taken action against misleading reference pricing and continues to find the practice in widespread use, because the first number changes perception even when people know the trick exists. The scarcity illusion. Only 3 left in stock. Only 3 left. 12 people are viewing this right now. Offer expires in 14 minutes. None of these messages are legally required to reflect an accurate or complete picture of reality. A significant number do not. Regulators have confirmed this across multiple investigations. A consumer watchdog investigation found that 5 out of 10 of Booking.com's only one room left claims were misleading or inaccurate. In one documented case, a property flagged as having just one room available actually had 34 rooms still bookable. Similar practices have been found across retail, ticketing, and travel platforms worldwide, including in the US. The underlying psychology is loss aversion. People respond more strongly to the possibility of losing an opportunity than to the possibility of gaining the same thing. Scarcity messaging converts a considered purchase decision into a mild panic, and the item becomes secondary to the fear that the window is closing. That is why countdown timers reset silently, low stock warnings appear on the same product for weeks, and limited time offers seem to renew indefinitely. The urgency is constructed, not reported. Cancellation, friction. Easy in, hard out. Signing up for a subscription usually takes 2 minutes. Canceling is often designed to take considerably longer. Buried settings, menus, repeated confirmation screens, retention offers appearing mid-flow, and in some services a requirement to call a phone number during business hours to cancel something started with a single click online. None of this is administrative clutter. Every additional step between a customer and the exit reduces the number of people who complete the process. The financial incentive to maintain friction was strong enough that self-regulation never produced meaningful change across the industry. The US FTC finalized its click-to-cancel rule in October 2024, requiring that any subscription startable online must be cancelable online in the same number of steps. The rule was subsequently vacated by the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals in July 2025, not because cancellation friction was found to be acceptable, but because the FTC had failed to complete a required cost-benefit analysis before finalizing the rule. The friction remains legal and in widespread use. Fix. Set a calendar reminder 2 days before any trial ends. Cancel then, not at the last minute, because the longer you wait, the more of the design starts working as intended. The free trial card trap, flipping the default. A free trial does not require your credit card for security. The transaction value is 0. The card requirement exists for a single reason: to reverse the default outcome. Without a card on file, you do not pay unless you actively choose to continue. With a card on file, you pay unless you actively choose to stop. That reversal, subtle as it sounds, means inertia and forgetfulness, which previously worked in your favor, now work in the company's favor instead. Companies reinforce this by front-loading their best features into the trial period. Your preferences are saved immediately. Your history begins accumulating. The product integrates itself into your daily routine so that by the time billing starts, leaving no longer feels like declining a purchase. It feels like giving up something you have already built. The card is not there for the company's protection. It is there to make paying the path of least resistance. Fix. Use a virtual card with a zero balance for free trials. When the trial ends and the charge is attempted, it fails automatically and the subscription lapses without any action required from you. Review gating. The ratings that only ask the satisfied. A 4.8-star average from 2,000 reviews looks like broad, independent evidence. The assumption is that 2,000 customers gave honest, unfiltered opinions. That assumption is frequently wrong. Review gating is the practice of selectively inviting feedback from customers who have already indicated satisfaction, while routing dissatisfied buyers into private complaint channels before they reach any public platform. The result is a visible rating that reflects a curated sample, not the full customer base. A product with a high return rate can sustain a near-perfect public score indefinitely if only the satisfied minority is ever invited to speak. The star rating is not a survey, it is a selection. The FTC finalized a rule targeting fake reviews and review suppression practices, including review gating, in 2024. To put the scale in perspective, $152 billion worth of purchasing decisions are influenced by fake or manipulated reviews globally each year, a figure that reflects how much consumer decision-making depends on ratings assumed to be neutral but often are not. Fix. Sort by 3-star reviews specifically. 1-star reviews can be distorted by frustration. 5-star reviews can be distorted by selection. 3-star reviews are where the honest, balanced assessments almost always live. Loss aversion pricing. Losing hurts more than winning feels good. In 1979, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published prospect theory in the journal Econometrica. Its central finding, the psychological pain of losing something, is approximately twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something of equivalent value. In practical terms, losing $50 feels worse than winning $50 feels good. The amounts are equal. The emotional weight is not. Every major advertising agency applies this asymmetry. Stop wasting $600 a year consistently outperforms save $600 a year in tests. The financial outcome is identical, but one activates loss aversion. You are leaving money on the table. Do not miss out. Last chance. These phrases are not describing an emergency. They are engineering one. Insurance, financial products, subscriptions, and limited-time offers are almost all constructed around loss rather than gain, because the brain is designed to prioritize defending against loss over pursuing equivalent reward. The product may be unchanged. The language is what creates the pressure. So the next time you feel urgency, scarcity, or the fear of missing out, look past the words. The product will still be there tomorrow. The pressure was never real.